All right, everybody, welcome back to the Game House. And so it's funny because in my time doing these interviews and these conversations, the most popular one that I've ever done was a couple of months ago when I got to meet the one of the co-founders of the first recognized professional esports organizations in Zambia. And I got to meet this wonderful young lady, and I have her back with me today because she's making things happen. And if you noticed, I'm sure some of you have because she's very popular on on Twitter. But when it comes to Cholwe, she got into a conversation with on Twitter with a major game publisher because she's a strong advocate for African esports. So I have with me today Cholwe again. Cholwe, welcome back, and sort of talk about the whole conversation that you had with talk about the conversation that you had with talk about the conversation that you had with Netherealm Studios.
Hi everyone. Hi Bill.
Hello again.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got into a conversation with Netherealm and the rest of the um. So to highlight it, it was basically about the MK11 Pro competition, and this was because of the Intercontinental Online part of. So I noticed that like last year in the Injustice Pro, Africa wasn't also included in the continental to play with the online qualifiers and then qualify for an offline at Biennality and the chance to go to gain more points and go to the finals. So the same thing happened again, and I was hurt and I was a bit emotional about it because I know a lot of players here who are passionate and very inspired by the game, and it crushed their hearts in a way to see that they weren't included for a chance like everyone else to express them. So that's why I started the thread on Twitter.
Okay, so basically, what you're saying is there was a whole bunch of people that wanted to participate, but because the African continent was not included in the online process, and you couldn't be involved, right?
Yeah, we couldn't be involved.
Okay, so you did what any ambitious person would do, right? You went straight to social media and Twitter and you said, "Hey, guys, we got a passionate community over here that loves the crap out of your game. You should include us," right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so you had that conversation and then what happened from it?
So what happened was I I tagged a bunch of pro players that I talked to and others that I just know are really popular and really passionate community influencers. So then after that, I got a couple of retweets. Others commented, not knowing that there was an FGC. So as I kept going down the thread, I also um, put in links to YouTube channel videos that portrayed like highlights of past events that were held in different. Um, Funny enough, one of the competition that was held in 2017 was the Injustice 2 Cup. This was hosted by African Gaming, or should I say SCGL, African Side. They are this amazing company in South Africa that hosts tournaments online every so offline spontaneously, and they encourage a lot of sub-Saharan Africa. So in that 2017 tournament, they partnered with Warner Bros. South Africa. They held that cup. The winner of that cup actually part VS Gaming, the Versus Gaming, which was part of the Pro Series. So yeah, so the same thing happened this year. Um, they've done the partnership again. The winner of this tournament that they'll be hosting soon will get to play at Celtic Throwdown in Ireland. So there's a chance at least that we'll participate.
Well, so that's fantastic. So you guys, you've been your group, your passionate fan base, and your players have been doing this now for a couple of years. You've been creating awesome content and content and putting on awesome events. So sort of to talk about some of the problems that you've had to overcome, because I know that where you are in the world, it sometimes can feel sort of isolated. People don't really know that the African sports scene is really strong. It's on the rise. There's a lot of people seeing that opportunity, and I think if people heard some of the issues that you had to overcome, I mean, I think they could learn something here.
Um, okay, so one of the issues that that's there, I should say, like one of the biggest issues is the support from the actual game developer. So if, for example, they started by the small step of investing in the community through including us in the Intercontinental Championship, I strongly believe it would be a great start in the right direction, because the challenge we've had is inspiring the players and keeping them inspired. So you can be inspired one time, but it's very hard when all the cards are against you and you have to go on. So others give up. We've had players who are great but stopped along the way because there are no events, there are no community events. But I believe if someone like them started with everyone else would try and say, okay, fine, I should create more tournaments in our community to help these guys train and look forward to this opportunity. And that in turn will inspire support in terms of capital or even product investments from local local partners who would say, okay, fine, I would like to be alongside this name, that's Netherealm or Warner Brothers, whoever is involved in supporting this part. So I feel that's one of the challenges, support from them. Um, Also, one of the challenges is the other challenge is um, I think I'm going to confuse it with my business. So
That's
I
okay, no
think that's
problem.
the
Go right
main,
ahead.
yeah, I think that's the main challenge, because I could say capital, but I believe um, sometimes you can start something without money. I'm a testament to that.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, yeah. So you can start something without money. So I can never say money is a factor. But the capital in form of support is what could start everything in the right direction. Because you start seeing people who are inspired say, okay, I've got a salary of this much, I'll put aside X, and I'll ask the players to come up and put a pot bonus, and then we can keep the community going. Um, then from then on, the community can sustain itself in form of creating content for the motivating for the bigger online event, the Warner Brothers, NR, something like that, I should say.
Right. Okay. So I know that one of the best ways that you can grow something from scratch is just start local. So sort of why don't you talk about how your local group, your local, I guess even your local government, your local schools, your local businesses, sort of so I said talk about how they have received you.
Um, so it's 50-50, to
Okay.
say. Others have received us positively, and then others are like, neutral about it. They don't know whether they should be negative or positive. So they're like, we'll just watch and see where this goes. Yeah. Um, so we have had support from an accelerator. I think I mentioned this in the last interview called Bongo Hive.
Yes.
So yeah, so they've always supported us with space. When we're about to train for tournament, we go there. They have a space for us, connect to their servers, and have internet. That's super fast. Um, we also have support from a local internet service provider called Liquid Telecom. So what they do in turn is they provide us with internet through Bongo Hive to help us play and train on. Um, I think as we've gone forward, as we've maintained traction, we have started seeing a lot of people supporting us in terms of getting the word out there about us. Local journalists coming up to us, writing articles about us in local magazines and papers and sets. That's great because now we're getting more people calling us. How can we help you? Just the other day, someone emailed us, what challenges are you facing? We want to help you and connect you to our network and see if there's any help your future events coming up.
So
It's
so
it's
that's
positive.
that's huge. That's it's always great to see the gamers come together, but when you can bridge that gap between people who are deeply entrenched in the community and the average business owner, the average person on the outside that reach out to you and say, "This is a really interesting story that you've started this from scratch, and you and your partner have built this up now." So when you get these emails and you get these contacts from outside your normal circle of influence, how's that feel?
It feels great, actually. It feels how in business you always have those small successes that keep you going. It's one of those things that keeps you active and motivated and happy. I forgot to mention, um, the actual place where I'm working, the marketing agency that I'm working, actually hired me because I went there to pitch our business and look for a partner who can give us space to vlog, to your content. And after the meeting, the end director actually offered. So yeah, it feels really, really good.
That's awesome. So I'm sure there are other people out there, especially in your region, in your country, some people that might be watching what you do. What can you tell them about the process? Because it's not easy and it didn't happen overnight for you. What sort of advice can you what sort of advice can you give them?
um, it's not been easy. I'm glad that you said that. There's this perception that when you do business, it's supposed to be flashy and you're supposed to, like rich and blowing money everywhere, like 1 year after you do a business or something.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes I get the perception from people. They ask me, okay, when have you made your money yet? Or when are you buying a house? So, they've got such questions. Um, there are times when you doubt yourself. There are times when I've felt like giving up. And there are times when I felt like um, this is what I've always really wanted to do, and I can't give up because I'll hate myself, or or I just can't live with the thought of not doing this or not having have ever not ever doing this. Um, you have to keep going, and the small successes, celebrate them. If you someone accepted you to have a meeting with them, celebrate that. They've chosen to listen to you blab about game. And
Yeah.
yeah, and if you get a no, it just means you can come back. because that's what I always do.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm sure some people are like, ah, it's that girl, she's back again. But sometimes a no means not right now.
Right.
It doesn't mean never. And the no's are actually great because they'll make you stronger. The next time you get a no, you'll be like, okay, I'll contact you. That's fine. It you have to have hard skin as well.
Yes.
I was weak before. I'm still weak, but I'm learning.
Well, it's I really think it's a testament to who you are as a human being that you have taken this on and that you've made it into something that people look at and they'll be like, I wish I could do that. And you just turn to them and say, you can. I can show you, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's not easy. The best things that you will ever experience in life are never easy. They're never simple, right?
yeah. And like I listen to Gary Vee a lot
Right?
um on Instagram and Twitter. Um yeah, like the way he talks at times really feels like how I feel most. Um I think I don't I think about it in the way that I'm enjoying the journey, and that's what everyone should have in a way of their minds. It's a journey, and the journey is long. No journey takes like 5 minutes. That's why it's called a journey, and
Right.
you have to love the process, um, every step of the way. The tears, the successes. You have to love the process, and only then will you appreciate it. And when you actually, so that's what I've been learning to do. The times I'm low, I really appreciate that and learn from that. I don't give up. I learn from, and that's the type of we have to. I know it's hard in this day and era because there's so many people bringing us down than bringing us. Sometimes you have to switch off the noise and just.
Very nice. So I'm sure that you've been asked this question before, and I, I, I know I haven't asked you. Now, are there other women that see you and they're I guess they might be jealous in a way, but they're also extremely impressed with you and they respect you. So sort of talk about what that's like for you as a woman in business, especially in esports. Esports is generally seen as a guy's thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so sort of talk about your learning process, because I'm sure that I'm absolutely certain that you have inspired multiple young women to be like, I want to be like her.
Yeah. Um, you're right. I actually interact with very few women. Um, there was a tournament the other weekend when we went there. I was actually the only girl.
Really?
And
Wow.
yeah, and the guys laughed about it. They're like, "Oh, hi." So I took lunch for the players, and then I was the only girl. But anyway, um, so it's um, it's really exciting. There's this player in Kenya called Malika. She's signed to an American-based team called XIT.
Okay.
Um, she goes by Queen Arrow. She's a really nice girl. I didn't get to meet her when we were in Kenya, but we do talk online, and she's very supportive. Whenever I throw things around, she's always interactive, being supportive and positive. So I have great interaction. I also managed to meet this other girl. Her name is Imani. She's from Morocco. She runs Leagues of Morocco. This is like it's like the biggest organizer of esports in Morocco in my eyes because they're just amazing and they do great work with League of Legends
Mm-hmm.
and these other PC games in Morocco. She's really amazing, and I'm hoping to meet her this year.
Very nice.
She's one of those people who I want to be my best friend. Um, so I I haven't yet got any negative um, feedback from females because I don't really interact with much, but I'm hoping that we get to see more females in this space. I was thinking of actually the other day with my founder, um, in the future making more like a, an academy where we can have females only,
Right.
like a particular class where we have females only, and we get our players to actually train them and work with them and see if they can participate in regional tournaments so that we can just kickstart the ball rolling. Because I really would love to a female Zambian girl at Evo, at least.
Very nice. I'm sure I'm sure when people see you at first, they don't really know who you are, and then when they figure it out, they're like, "Oh, you're her." I'm sure that's an interesting conversation,
Yes,
isn't it?
yeah, that happens. Well, but like I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I'm a bit of an introvert. Okay, I am an introvert,
Right?
but I do I've learned how to be an extrovert. So when I go to events with my players, most people wouldn't talk to me. They'll just stare
Okay.
or look because they're kind of shy. Like, how do I talk to her? What do I say? You
Okay.
know? Yeah, but I do engage with people. Usually, what happens is when they engage with me online, they're like, "Oh, it's me. I'm going to this event too. Be there." Then that's how we meet in person. But in real life, they talk, but they're kind of shy, so they come through a friend.
I bet that's been fun, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'm always grateful when you make time for me. I know you're an extremely busy person, and you're all the way across the world. So probably right now
I
it's so
know.
you're all the way across the world. Yeah, and you're all the way all across the world, and I'm on the west coast of America, and you're in the middle of Africa, and we're having this awesome conversation.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for making time for me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Bill. Anytime.
No problem. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Game House. You can catch this and lots of other awesome content that we have here on the YouTube channel. Feel free to like, subscribe, share all the good things. Follow on Twitter at the Game House and the Game House Esports, and we'll see you soon.